You know what? I get into a lot of routines. I have to. I'm kind of an airhead. I forget a lot of stuff. But one thing I make sure that I do is every time I go to put oil into my boat, I check the prop. And the reason for checking the prop is numerous. One of the main reasons you want to check your prop at all times, especially after you've been on a series of long runs or you've been traveling places, is you could get into a situation to where your prop could have line wrapped around the shaft. Props are fairly easy to remove, and it's something that you might want to practice at home. The more you do it, the better you get at it. But what you basically want to do is, your first step is, you remove the cotter pin that holds the nut in place. What this basically does is this cotter pin, or this cotter key, basically holds that prop nut in place so that in turn, it doesn't come off or spin off the engine. And that's a bad thing when you lose a $300, $400, $500 prop. Every time I take a piece off the prop, I lay it in the lid of the toolbox. So once I pull that out, then I've got the locking ring that holds that nut in place, or locked in place. And then boom, the third step is I'm down to the nut. Now, wait right here. I got to run back to the truck and grab some gloves. Gloves are vitally important to the rest of this job. My road gloves are something that you've got to remember, that these props have sharp edges. So when I'm going to loosen this prop or take this prop off, what I basically want to do is, I want to take the prop around and turn it until that wrench is against my cavitation plate, and then I just spin the prop. Now that right there is going to all of a sudden loosen up that prop nut. It doesn't have to be cranked down there so tight you can't get it off, especially when you're out on the water and you may want to change props for performance. Take that nut off, put it right back in the exact same place. The other thing that these gloves do is they keep the grime and the slime off of your hands when you're doing this. Then you're going to want to pull the prop, set everything again inside the toolbox, set that down, and then what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to examine the prop shaft and look back in here and check to see if any fishing line has gotten back in there. It's amazing. Per tank full of gas, I will get usually one chunk of line around my prop. This time I don't have any, and I just pulled this off. We just got done running the boat yesterday, and of course we were in the river. We didn't run very far, but we didn't pick up any line. But that fishing line, the problem with fishing line in your prop, or around your prop shaft, is it gets down into the seal, and it could damage the seal of the motor, especially with these new super lines that they've got out nowadays. So it's just a good habit to get into, is making sure that you check your prop, making sure that everything is clean and proper, pardon the pun, lubricate your prop shaft, put your prop back on, and boom, you're ready to rock and roll.